Turn that damn juice on!
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson. Appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon. This afternoon, Andrew Ellis out this week, but we're going to have plenty of things to discuss today. As, of course, we'll get into all of your takes and on the chats presented by Basis Health. We'll also have a Who's Our Heavy Hitter presented by HD Roofing and Construction, some summer topics of conversation to get into from Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas, your Alumni Hall question of the day. Football, basketball, baseball, all of it's going to be happening right here, but it is a Wednesday. It is a hump day. So how's the vibes over there, Curtis, at the Wilkerson household this Wednesday?
Pretty good after that fire intro, John. How about that, man? That was awesome. It looks like we're getting some good reviews from that in the chat. That's some impressive work right there. Very cool. I like the change. It got me going, got me fired up. Not that I needed it today because buddy, it's just one of them days where we got some juicy things to talk about. So I'm excited to get to it.
I am too, man. I am too. Yeah, the intro, we'll see how it goes. And, YouTube and all of that's kind of weird about stuff like that. But, hey, I was wanting to do a change, and I figured, hey, why not? Why not make it from the Madden 2008 intro and a little bit of a play on that? But either way, appreciate it. And, we'll see how that plays out as well as a lot of things. Because, yeah, there is some things to get into today. And we're going to try to get through all of them because, it's something to where the dog days of summer this week has not lacked any of discussions because of how much has been coming out and things that impact Arkansas, things that are specifically directed with Arkansas, the SEC, the conference, and everything. Because we know fall camp starts up August 1st for the Razorbacks. So we're looking at things that have been going on until that point in time. But man, oh man, Curtis, yesterday, it's an ongoing thing, we know, with revenue sharing, NIL, all these things. It's an ever-changing thing. Things from a year ago, completely different up to this point. But we're going to get into this and talking about the collectives when revenue share, because that was the whole thing, is that this whole deal with revenue sharing is going to even the playing field. And it was going to set everybody up, and these collectives, they were going to go away, and they're going to have to go through a clearinghouse and $600 and all that stuff, only to have it come out and be reported yesterday from all the people that are covering it, but Ross Dellinger, of course, kind of being the main guy, where they've reached a deal. The House Plaintiff Attorneys have reached the deal with the NCAA, College Sports Commission, blah, 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 all that stuff. We can get into the minutia, but it comes down simply to this. As part of the agreement to what they had yesterday, the College Sports Commission is expected to treat collectives or any school-associated entity in a similar fashion as other businesses when determining the legitimacy of third-party NIL deals submitted to the CSE's NIL Go clearinghouse, according to Ross Dellinger. So basically, collectives are here to stay. They're not going anywhere, and they're going to be just as prevalent as anything on top of revenue sharing.
Imagine that.
Who would have guessed?
Imagine that, John. Unbelievable. It took 3 weeks for what everybody with some sense knew was going to happen. Collectives were never going to go away, man. You cannot open the floodgates for student-athlete earnings and then cap them right away. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You cannot tell rich people how they can and cannot spend their damn money. Have you ever tried to tell a rich person what to do with their money, John?
If I have, yeah, I'd say if I have, I wouldn't be here right now because I'd go missing.
They're going to do what they want to do with it. And here's the thing that really gets me about this, because with the collectives coming back or just being allowed to have a more prominent role, like the NIL Go, the College Sports Commission, whatever, they're going to recognize that. And there's still going to be some quote unquote guardrails. Yeah, right. For right now. Okay, fine. This should be a good thing, John. It should be a good thing for Arkansas. The haves are celebrating this right now. The have-nots are punching the air because they're pissed off and they don't know what to do. This is great for hoops, for Arkansas basketball, in my opinion. It's hard to believe, at least on the surface, that this is good for football when, the saving grace for the last 18 months for Sam Pittman has been this revenue share going into effect and the problems being solved because we're not getting outbid for these kids because we don't have as much money. Well, what now?
Man, I've laughed about this yesterday more than I should have. I'm just telling you right now. I shouldn't have laughed, but I did, because this is exactly what we have been talking about. What most logical people, where you look at the grand scheme of things, and as you mentioned, you can't tell rich people how to spend their money. We all knew that this was going to happen in some capacity. Did we know it was going to be them coming to the agreement and NIL collectives be a part of it? Like, do we know the legalities of it? No. But anybody who has a brain knew that with the way that it's been set up with pay for play, which is what NIL became and all of that, there was zero chance that they were going to put it back in the bottle. And as I always made the joke of with Calipari and John Tyson back, hey, Johnny T, don't worry about giving me any more of your money. I'm not going to need it. Revenue sharing's here. And Sam Pittman has been one of those guys, if not the guy at Arkansas, that we've been hearing, what was it, at post Liberty Bowl, maybe even pre-Liberty Bowl, about revenue sharing. It's going to help us out. It's going to set us apart. It's going to get us going. And all of us were like, well, I mean, everybody's going to have that, though. And there's still going to be some other things going on. So I don't really agree with that. And we kept hearing it and hearing it and hearing it. And now with the collective, with Arkansas Edge, looks like it's been going away. Well, now it's like, well, crap. Do we need to get it back because collectives are going to be part of it? It's so annoying. It's so annoying that, as we were talking about before the show, people in the administrations and people, and I don't think this is just an Arkansas thing. I think anybody that's on, as you put it, the have-nots. I think anybody that's seeing all this, it's like all of the common fans and common people that understand college athletics and understand college football and the money and everything. It's like, this was so predictable. This was so predictable. And for Arkansas, man, it's one of those deals where you're just like, why? Why did y'all choose this pathway when everybody else could see the writing on the wall?
It's predictable to everybody except those who make decisions over there. And so once again, Arkansas is going to be in a position to where they have to be reactive and they have to be in scramble mode, unless they had some grand master plan in place that they'll reveal later today or something to get out ahead of this. And hey, I hope they do. We'll see. But this is just the reality of the situation now, again, which we were wondering when it was going to happen because you knew it was inevitable. Let me just read to you real quick, John, some of the things that came directly out of Sam Pittman's mouth at SEC Media Days. And this isn't a bash Sam Pittman thing. I'll explain in a minute, but I want to read the direct quotes that came out of his mouth while you were in Atlanta on Thursday, less than a week ago. First, financially with revenue sharing, I think now we're back on even keel with everybody, which we weren't. Okay. When we were even, we went from 4-20 to top 20 in 2 years. I think the program has a chance to get back up to around those 9+ wins that where we were before, just simply because we have the finances to back that. Next one. If I was going to make an excuse, it would be financially is why we haven't done quite as well as where we were projected my first 2 years. But I think now with it being even, I look out that the Razorbacks are coming on. And then when asked about all the guys hitting the portal, like the big influx of guys entering the transfer portal at the end of the season, comparatively speaking to some of their peers, he said, here's what it's not because of: the way they're treated, because of the way they're developed, because of the way they're taught. That's not the reason. It could be playing time. It could be finances. Probably the majority of it is finances, but you'd have to ask those guys. Those are all things that he said last week. Now, understand, I'm not blaming Sam Pittman here for anything that I just read. I'm just giving the quotes, giving the context, right? And I'm not saying that he's wrong about anything that he said there necessarily, but boy, it looms large now, doesn't it? Like, what I'm illustrating is how massive of a weight that this entire thing was on the shoulders of that program, whether it was self-inflicted or not, that was lifted for 3 weeks, and then it just got dropped right back on their heads yesterday. That sucks for them, man. It sucks for Sam Pittman. And now, we see record donations at Mississippi State, and we see these crazy NIL numbers from last year getting thrown out at Missouri. We know all about the Grove Collective and the backing that Lane Kiffin has over there at Ole Miss, and the gap in this NIL space that Sam Pittman and Hunter Yurachek have openly admitted was there. And it was like, well, thank goodness it's going away now because of the level playing field that was never going to be level. So maybe you're not all the way back there, but it feels like you're damn near back to square one here. And so now, like, Arkansas Edge, good folks that worked over there. It's not personal, whatever, but it's been a disaster, man. It just has. And based on some of the things that Pittman was saying about collectives, some of the things that we've heard, was it going away? Has it already gone away? Or are they revamping it? Who the hell knows? They better have a really good plan in place here. And I don't know what it will be or what it should be. That's not my job. I don't get paid the big bucks for that, but it can't be another drive for five. It can't be another, hustling folks to donating for a slobber hog thing. You ruin the 50-50 raffle deal and the potential for that, since it's financing the revenue share part of this, which, hey, guess what? That's not going away either. So now this is all in addition to, it comes across as problematic. And there's people out there who are celebrating it and championing it. And it's like, oh, hell yeah, we knew it wasn't going away. We're still going to have our $40 million rosters. And then you have the others who are really relying on this balancing things out on the scales. And that's not going to be the case. And it's very much like a, oh, shoot kind of moment here.
Have you ever, Curtis, I know you know this, but kids these days may not. Do you know the story of the tortoise and the hare and the whole idea behind it? For those you may not know.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, it's a great life lesson, at least supposedly. The tortoise and the hare is essentially that a tortoise and a hare go on a race, and the tortoise is very slow but keeps the focus on the main goal, and the hare is faster but it keeps going, getting distracted, doing other things, and ends up losing the race to the tortoise because it got distracted by everything. I cannot help but Arkansas, the administration, everybody involved, looked at this as a tortoise and a hare situation. We're like, hey, we're going to be the tortoise because they're the ones that win. They do things the right way. We're just going to stay focused on the things ahead. And, we're going to just sit back and we're going to take it slow. And those idiots over there, the hares, those are all the hares. They're going to get fined. They're going to get all these problems. It's going to have all these issues arise. But the problem is that Arkansas sitting there as the tortoise and be like, still walking. Like, well, okay, when's this hair stuff going to start happening, when they're going to start getting distracted and failing and everything, when we're going to be the ones that come out on top? That to me is exactly what Arkansas went into this thinking. And it's not a reality. It's not a reality of that, because that's never been college athletics, is, hey, do things by the book and then just do things to where you're being prepared. And if other people are being aggressive, you be more conservative because that could cause some problems. It's no, you be aggressive. And then if rules change, you adapt in that way. And now Arkansas feels like they're even further away because, as you've mentioned, and we want to make this clear, folks, this isn't a one thing or the other thing of an NIL thing or a revenue sharing thing. No, it's both now. It's both. $20.5 million is what you're going to have for revenue sharing. That's a big chunk of change. On top of the fact that NIL collectives, assuming you want to be competitive in major athletics, specifically college football, those collectives aren't going away either. The pay for play, or whatever you want to call it, they aren't going away either. They're on top of it. So now it's an even bigger financial deal. And every other school seems to have taken this approach and been aggressive the whole time and saying, hey, let's just do this until we can't anymore. And then we'll react. Where Arkansas was trying to be forward thinking, trying to look ahead and say, no, it's, we're going to wait and see it because I feel like it's going to be this, or it looks like it's going to be this. And in all reality, people who know college athletics, which I know you do, Curtis, and I know that I've been following it, and so many fans are like, just because you say this or you think this is going to happen, college football's changed a lot of rules in a lot of decades. But the main thing has always been, you're going to get those players, you're going to get those big time athletes, and you're going to do whatever means necessary to do it, regardless of what happens. And here you are. This is an issue, and it's just so pathetically predictable and frustrating if you're a Razorback fan.
It is. And it's I don't know if it's me being naive or if it's just me, I don't know, like trying to find something to grasp onto. Man, I just hope, I hope that they saw this coming. It's sure publicly, there's just nothing that suggests that they did. Man, I hope there's a plan. I even said it last night in the Discord of like, now would be a great time to announce the new collective or the new fundraising drive, or, oh, here's a new huge donation that we, something just to generate a little bit of momentum there. My fingers are crossed that happens. Listen, I'm not very optimistic, but I'm open to that being the case. I just really hope it is, for the sake of Arkansas, for the sake of the Razorback fans out there. hell, for the sake of Sam Pittman, for the sake of the football program, they need it, man. They absolutely do. This is crazy. It really is. The stark differences just from one side of campus to the other, it blows me away.
Yep.
How, because I recorded a Pot at the Palace for this morning, John. It's the basketball show. And I was very much like, this is awesome. This is great. This is perfect for Cal. This opens up an avenue to keep those boosters, involved. They were going to be anyway, but like on the up and up, right? There's a way to do it now without having to be super sly or sneaky or whatever. And it's just the first domino in this getting back to the wild, wild west type of situation. This is good for them. But for all the reasons we just outlined, it's choppy waters, man, here for the football program. And that's what people really care about. That's what drives a lot of the revenue that you do bring in and all those things. So I don't know what the reaction is going to be, what the plan is going to be, what they're going to do. But boy, they better figure it out quick. And and here's the thing, it has to be better, a hell of a lot better than what they've been doing for the last several years, because that just hasn't worked.
Yep. And they are going to, you mentioned doing it quick, fast, and in a hurry. Here's one of the biggest reasons why. I know people may not see it this way, but as we said, fall camp starts August 1st. Assuming that they continue to do it the way they do it, we're going to hear from Sam Pittman to start in a press conference. And I sincerely hope and believe that this exact thing is going to be brought up, of saying, hey, revenue sharing was big. You kept saying it was going to be, and now that's not the case. I mean, it's still part of it, but now the NIL coach. So what's the plan now, Sam? Like what's going to be happening to fix this? And if you roll Sam Pittman out there with no answers, with no plan, no at least something to say that will be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we've been working on it for a long time. We saw this coming. At least something like that, dude. It's going to be popped up to be like, okay, they are truly inept and have no idea what to do, because that he's going to get asked, and you have, a couple weeks, maybe a week and a half before he meets. You have to tell him he's going to be the one. Yurichek's he doesn't have a press conference. He just sits back and tweets good luck and stuff. So it's like, he doesn't have to say anything. Players don't have to say anything. Assistant coaches, whoever. The next major coach we hear from is going to be Sam Pittman. And he's going to be the one that represents the answer you as a university are going to give to all of this. So whatever it is that you have planned, which I'm with you, I hope and pray that they have something. I really do. But if they don't, and someone asks Pittman about it, and Pittman comes out and it's kind of like, I don't know, it's not my thing, whatever. It's just going to continue to dig you a hole that is impossible to get out of. And, I'm with you too, and want to reiterate, it's not just like attacking Sam Pittman. I think it's because Pittman's only doing what he's told. I mean, the things he said and all the quotes you gave there for media days, those are things that he's been told to say and told that, hey, this is what's going to happen. And so he goes along with it. But now this has been a complete total twist to where if Pittman doesn't at least come up with something and say some sort of answer that's going to give us and everybody an idea of the direction it's going, then it's truly going to be one of those deals to like, oh gosh, this is going to really turn into a disaster, and you're going to get left behind even further than what you are right now. Right.
And Sam was pretty adamant there, and he said some good things at media days about, and I thought he wore it pretty well in terms of like, hey, I've kind of gotten myself into the situation that I'm in here. The way to get out of it is to win game. Like all those things were true. And he talked about how he likes the team that he has. He likes the staff. He was going to say that anyway. All 16 coaches who were there said that. But I think he does believe that too, especially with his staff and the continuity there. That's all great. But the reasons, like the bullet points given to this fan base for like optimism moving forward, like for the trajectory, for the big picture of the program, was about taking money away from everyone else. That way we're even here. And now that's not a thing. You just think about the differences in how this was reacted to. Like take Lane Kiffin, for example. What did he do? He stood up there at the podium or up there with Feinbaum or whoever it was. And he was like, nobody following this cap, man. Nobody's following this salary cap. What are we talking about here? People are going over that. This is ridiculous, And that's true. I mean, that's exactly the case. And maybe it's just Sam, doing the company line or, saying what he's supposed to say, sure. And behind the scenes, the gears are turning. It's like the duck on water. It's very calm on the surface, and underneath it's just paddling away like crazy, trying to come up with a plan or something. History suggests that's probably not the case, but it's, once again, we go back to the way the messages were delivered and the whole reason for it. He said it himself of why we feel like we can get back to this 9-ish wins thing, why we feel like we can get back to where we were, my first couple years here, is because of the money being even now. And the reason that it wasn't the case was because the money wasn't even. And 5 days later, that entire pitch goes out the window for the most part, to a degree, whatever. But it's got to be troubling. It's got to be troubling over there.
Has to be. And I know we'll get to your chats, folks, and there'll be plenty of things to discuss and a lot of things to discuss other than this too. But one other thing I wanted to bring up, Curtis, is, in games, which that's what we do. We cover games. We cover sports. They're games. There are rules, and rules that everybody plays within. People will sometimes use rules to their advantage or whatever. But to me, college athletics has always been, the rules have always been not what the NCAA says, not what the whatever says. The rules are dictated by those who play the game. And the universities and the athletic departments, if they're playing the game and have been playing the game, where they are doing pay for play, where they are doing, underhanded deals, even dating back to the days before NIL and all this stuff. If they're tampering, you could make it for anything. If that's the way the rest of the country and the rest of the world is playing the game, you have to play the game too if you want to compete, regardless of what's right and wrong. I get it. We as human beings want to do what's right. We try to do what's right. I fully understand it. But when you're sitting in a situation to where those surrounding you, you're playing a game and those surrounding you are the ones that are living by different rules than you, and you are the one choosing not to go by their rules and not to play the game they play it, you're going to get left behind. And it won't matter, because all fans want, all donors want, everybody, all they want to do is win. And if you can't win because you are refusing to play their game and you're getting surpassed, then you're worthless. You're worthless to everybody. You can sit here and spout about GPAs and great grades and, man, the Director's Cup. No one cares. They want to believe that you're doing whatever it takes to win. And right now, there is a very, very strong doubt from Razorback fans in general, and given the circumstances of what's going on with NIL and all that, because we know it's the most important thing right now, that you're just not getting it done and you're not playing to win. You're not playing the game to win, as Herm Edwards would say. So, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of truth to that, man. There really is. And it's, I just think about, again, some of the messaging and everything. And I'm not blaming Sam Pittman, but just the way some of it was portrayed. Like, you think about the way he's talked about, is having to deal with, agents and everything like that, and just how frustrating that's been for him, dealing with the money and all that. So this is going to be a big test for the mettle of Remy Cofield, because I know he's the GM and the revenue share guy, but this is going to be big for him as well. Was he out in front of this? Was he forward thinking? Does he have a plan? Does he have a reaction that's going to make sense here? He's probably going to be a big part of those conversations. And given where he came from, the professional ranks and the people that he dealt with and the folks that he's had to talk to and everything like that, I would hope that he understands exactly what you're talking about, which is how the game is played and who dictates the rules. Because, I think about it from a basketball standpoint, and to me, it's like, all right, did we really believe that all of a sudden they were going to do this revenue share thing, and there was going to be a cap, and they were going to crack down on 70% of these NIL deals, and there was going to be no more booster involvement? We thought all that was going to happen, and that the players who've been making all this money, all of a sudden that's going to get cut significantly, and they were just going to be like, okay, fine. Did we really think that the Big East or whatever, who doesn't have football, and maybe they don't generate as much revenue because of that, but theoretically speaking, they could pour way more into basketball and have a monopoly on the sport, and that SEC schools, just because they're given 80% of their revenue share to their football program, that John Calipari or Nate Oates or whoever would just be like, oh, yeah, I guess that's just going to be the way that it is. Did we really think that the agents who've been representing all these guys who get their cuts for all these deals would see that percentage drop so drastically and just be like, yeah, well, times are changing. I guess we'll just tighten up the belt loop here and we'll adjust. We'll survive and adapt. No, they were never going to stand for it. And we knew that was going to be the case. We knew it was going to be a fight. Maybe this happened a little bit quicker than people anticipated. But I do hope that somebody over there is at least forward thinking enough to have considered that and had some sort of contingency to start working ahead towards.
For sure. And it makes me wonder, not to bring up old things, but we know that they had a lot of significant cuts, and Kevin Trainor being one of those guys who were unfortunately cut. If you listen to the interview you did with David Basil in The Buzz, it was a surprise. It wasn't something that anybody was expecting. He wasn't expecting. He was on vacation during the time. Now, I'm making a reckless assumption here. I don't know, but it makes me wonder if that was done because it was one of those, oh crap, we're going to need even more money than we thought. We're going to need even more than what we realize, and we had to do something. And so it's just, I know Ellis isn't here, so I'm going to make a Star Wars reference. So just ignore me, Curtis. But it's it's a thing where Poe Dameron's yelling at the people. It's like, tell us that we have a plan, that we're okay, that we're going to be fine. Tell us that we have a plan, that there's hope. That's what I'm kind of feeling like Razorback fans are just needing, not wanting, needing. They need Juracek or somebody to just lay it out for them. Lay it out for me. I will gladly go along with it if you said, hey, A, B, C, D, D, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. And I'll be like, okay, well, we could sit here and say if we agree, disagree, or whatever. But it's just time. It feels like Arkansas keeps taking more and more L's in this whole NIL rev share thing in the offseason than any other program. I don't know if that's true. I don't follow the other programs. But man, at least at media days, Curtis, I talked to almost every single school's media member that I know and friends with and everything. And not one of them said anything close to their issues that they have going on at the school they cover that's close to Arkansas. Not one of them. And that is also extremely alarming. So, man,
change the narrative. You know what I mean? It's not our job to do that for them. Change the narrative.
Yep. And then once you do that, I think people go along with it too. But golly, man, I just kept reading through this and shout out to Ross Dellinger, by the way, folks. Give him a shout out. That dude from Yahoo, he used to cover, I believe, LSU pretty exclusively for the Advocate. Maybe that's what it was down there. But either way, phenomenal guy who covers all this stuff with NIL. And if you haven't followed him on social media or read his stuff for Yahoo, it's fantastic. So, and he also is really good at laying it out for morons like me that can't read and understand big words. So I appreciate him for doing that. Man, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, reading into it and everything, it's like a soft relaunch or whatever for this, the whole collective deal and it just being recognized. And like for the normal NIL deals, it's anything over $600 that would need to be submitted and scrutinized or whatever. And now for the collective based stuff, they're looking at, around 5,000, which is significantly more. But it was funny. And I was listening to, and I always do, the Ion College Basketball podcast. They were all just out at Peach Jam, and so they're rubbing elbows with agents and all the college coaches and everything like that. And one of them, I can't remember if it was Norlander or Fink who was talking, but was like, they talked to multiple head coaches down there that were like, I'm literally exploring ways to get it set up to where I can have a $599.99 deposit hit my best player's account every day.
Yep.
Until he winds up getting to the amount we agreed upon or whatever. Just to avoid this nonsense,
and
doing it like that. And so I'm sure they'll be doing that with $4,999.99 or whatever with the collective type stuff. It's just, they were going to find ways. There were going to be loopholes. They were going to find ways to work around. And you might as well just kind of reopen some of those things and make a failed attempt to, navigate it or have some guardrails or whatever the hell you want to call it, some regulation, but it's not going to happen.
No.
People are going to do what they want, man.
No.
This is what it is.
Yeah.
And I wonder if like Cal is going to, he's going to get his guys no matter what. Like, it's whatever. I'm not worried about that. But I do wonder, like, if those conversations that happen, over in the football office before, where it's like, shoot, man, like we really want to get this kid, hey, Remy, come here, Remy, man, come on down here, come down the hallway. And you think we could do this once a week, $599.99 throughout the course of the season? We don't have to submit that to NIL Go, right? Do you think they think that way over there with those workarounds and stuff like that? I don't know. I don't know if they do.
It doesn't give me the vibes of it. Actually, shout out to Jake Crane of Crane & Company. I'm actually having him as a guest later today, and we'll play it back later this week. But when I was at Media Days, you just made me think of that, Curtis. I'm sure he wasn't the only one that brought it up. I remember him saying, he's like, man, if I could, I'd just start a company. And this is back before this announcement of the clearinghouse and NIL collectors. He's like, if I was a business owner, I would start a business to where you just collect from various people, individuals, or whatever, as you said, $599.99, and then just flood it like each and every day to different players, and just have it set from, oh, well, this is from Johnny Joe and this is from Billy Sims. Like, just everything. It's different. It's not from one individual. It's not from one entity, and it just keeps going. And as you said, wouldn't shock me at all if somebody already thought about that and they were already doing it in some capacity, getting ready for it. Because forward thinking, you don't find ways to say no. You find ways to say yes. You don't try to be combative of anything like that. You try to embrace it and move forward. And jeez, it just seems like it's, you feel helpless as if you're a Razorback fan, because again, people want to help. They want to help. They want to win, and they're willing to do it. But with the Arkansas Edge ordeal and that problem, the Razorback raffle nonsense, which was a problem, it seems like you're just going the wrong direction in every decision you make. It's like you get posed with two choices and you keep choosing the wrong one every single time. But man, frustrating stuff. And I know a lot of you fans are frustrated as well. And we'll get into some of your chats and talk a little bit more about it and what you think about it, because we do want your opinions on all of this. And we'll get to that. I want to remind everybody that we are brought to you by our friends over at Hickey and Hull Law. Maybe they can help us out with all this stuff with NIL, clearinghouses and whatnot. Well, they do all different types of law, but definitely divorce and custody cases. Those are the ones that they focus in on, because those are very important. You don't want to face them alone. And they are the ones that provide you with that persistent and diligent representation to guide you through the entire process. It's a scary thing, and there's a lot of moving parts between it, but don't let that get in the way of you getting great representation. Hickey and Hull is going to help you out, because they have thousands and have handled thousands of family law cases and have experienced nearly every scenario that has ever come up. So give Hickey and Hull Law offices a call today. They have offices across the state of Arkansas in Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, and Mena. And you can call them today at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. Or you can check out their website at hickeyandhull.com. You can scan that QR code also on your screen, and it'll take you right there. It's Hickey and Hull Law. Things are about to get better. All right, so I'm sure the chat's fired up after those discussions. At least it seems like it. But let's get to some of your chats, folks, and we'll have some other things to jump into as well. But shout out to, I did super chat. Shout out to Fishman. Appreciate the super chat. He says, we have the dumbest athletic director in college just based on football, because Hunter Yurchek has been behind the 8 ball on everything. So
he ain't making any friends, and he's making more enemy. I mean, the dude sent out one tweet, last week or whatever, and that was one of the stiffest ratios I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's not going well for him over there, and he's done some very good things his time at Arkansas, but the public perception, I guess, the man's been taking some hits. So
yeah. Well, Curtis, let me tell you this real quick, and this just made me think. I don't think I told you this, but when I was at Media Days last Thursday, I went on Feinbaum's show. Now, I didn't do the TV spot. I'll say for the better-looking man, David Basil himself. But I did his radio spot, which is just earlier, and it was recorded. And we talked about Yurchek. I need to find this clip. Paul Feinbaum kind of went off on Hunter Yurchek in a way of basically being like, yeah, we had this certain thing that was going on, and we had him on, and he said one thing, and it was completely false. And we've held, it's just basically, it kind of went in on him. So when you talk about not making any friends, I'm like, man, I know it's just Feinbaum, and Feinbaum's he doesn't make friends either, but it's just one of those deals to where it really opens my eyes and like, hey, there's a lot of people who you as an athletic director, you deal with, and a lot of people can help you out. Friends in the media can help you out. I know people hate the media, but media can help you out in some cases when you need it. Shout out to Sharkensaw. Appreciate the super chat. He said, checking in from the honeymoon to show the stream some love. Like and sub to the stream chat. Appreciate you, Sharkensaw. And congrats, man, on the marriage.
Happy nuptials, bro.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, that's right.
Where are you? That's what I want to know. Where is the honeymoon?
I was going to ask him the same thing. Like, yeah, hopefully you're not in just Branson or something like that. Hopefully you're enjoying, nothing against Branson. If you had a honeymoon there, I don't want to cause any problems. I'm just saying, I'm for you, Sharkensaw, because I like you. I'm just hoping you having the most exotic and awesome honeymoon, or just somewhere cool. That's what it's about. Yeah. I get in trouble sometimes. I just say like, oh, I'm going to hate on this city, and people are going to be like, well, my mom's from Branson. I'm like, all right, relax. Nothing mean it that way.
Oh, Costa Rica, he says.
Oh, Costa Rica. Oh, that's pretty exotic.
Yeah,
pretty exotic. I have never left the country in my life, but sounds like it's pretty cool down there.
Never left the country?
Nope, not once.
You never spring broke it over at really?
No.
No Cancun. No. Wow.
I know.
Okay.
I know. Well, as I always tell people, the trip that we made to San Francisco the first time around, Curtis, that was the first time I ever was west of Dallas.
Really?
Yeah.
The hell, man, we got to get you out more.
Yeah, trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. Not to get sidetracked, but yeah, I trust me, I know. It's pretty lame. Let's see. Also, shout out to Hunter. He says, feels good to be back, boys. I've missed a lot, but me and my wife had our first kid, so I was soaking up all the love. And well, congrats to you too, Hunter.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. Very, very cool. All the blessings for a healthy and happy youngster, and good luck with the sleep.
Yeah. Give if you have any tips, I'm sure Curtis will gladly take some. He's going to be welcoming in his first child, and what is it? Geez, Curtis, a month and a half, 2 months, roughly. I mean, you never know, but
dude, it could be at any time, man.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that text I'm going to get from Curtis back. Hey, man, it happened. So we'll see you in a bit. I'm like, do what you need to do. We'll let us know when you're ready to come back, man. We'll be on it. Is it
that bun is in the oven, man?
Yeah,
it's in there, and the timer's almost up. So
yeah, is it what's it called when you leave from work for a pregnancy? Should know this. Something leave.
Paternity leave.
Paternity leave. Yeah. There you go. I don't know I guess it's for the men too. So yeah, paternity leave. Curtis will be on paternity leave here soon. I'm just digging myself a hole. I need to shut up. Let's see. Shout out to Heartbroken Hog. He says, I need an explanation for the Grand Canyon sized gap between the $600 limit for the normal NIL deals, but collectives can do up to $5,000 without sending it through the clearinghouse. Well, I mean, to me, the explanation is like one's a collective, and the way that the rules have been set up is that those collectives can work in junction with those universities. And I believe, is it because the NILs were the private companies or public companies? I think they were private companies, right? Most of the time. Could be wrong.
Could be whoever, really. NIL. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's probably why a lot of it, you never knew publicly of what was going on. And the clearinghouse was just basically a way of saying, hey, we know exactly how much money you're getting. We know exactly what you're doing with it and exactly where it's coming from. And it does not happen until we approve it. The collectives are more just like, we're going to take care of it the way we see fit. And that's it. I don't know. I will say this. If Arkansas does come out with another collective, me and you need to come up with the name for it instead of Arkansas Edge, man. You do something more cool.
No, I like that. What I will say about these collectives now is like, they're still going to technically, for now, at least have to be put through that NIL Go clearinghouse. Like, they have to prove the valid business purposes thing. So if it's coming from a collective, like, it's probably going to have to coincide with, like, I don't know, speaking engagements or autographs, like things like that through the collective to make it a valid business type of thing. Which is kind of what they were doing in the very beginning. What was it before Arkansas Edge?
It was, oh, dude, if you want to ask me, I could have told you. It was like, not We Are Arkansas, but like Arkansas First. Something, I'm trying to think, but
like
yeah.
One Arkansas, so, I don't know.
Yes,
something.
One Arkansas. That was
Is that what it was? Yeah. Because I remember in the beginning, they were doing that because they had Muss and the whole basketball squad was out at some Razorback event. I can't remember what it was, like some speaking engagement, and like the Hunts were involved and stuff. It'll be some stuff like that they'll have to do to kind of justify it. But,
Yeah, I don't know. This is the thing that, again, it's not my job, but I try to keep up with it. That's why I said read Ross Dellinger, because he's going to word it out for you. But dude, there's just so many little minor moving parts to all of this, which is just hard to keep up with. Which goes back to the whole point of like, that's why I appreciate and respect Ole Miss or whoever. Just like, screw it, we don't care. We're just going to do whatever we want to do. And then, because here's the deal too, when is the NCAA? I know there's more involved because it's going through legal systems. But when has the NCAA ever done anything when it comes to punishments and making? Who cares?
They haven't, and that's the whole thing about getting this Deloitte company and the College Sports Commission and everything like that. Like, it's taking that onus away from the NCAA, and it's going to be those folks who are handing out the punishments, or whatever the hell it is. And so we're supposed to believe now that they're going to enforce, the rules. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? What are you really going to do?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what you're going to take down the entire? You're going to do a death penalty or something? Because again, who really has the power? It's the conferences and the televisions, like, and the media rights. Like, that's who's in power. Nobody else. So they're going to do whatever they want to do.
All these schools, when they opted in to the revenue share stuff, because you had the option, like you could choose whether you wanted to opt in or opt out. That goes back to the haves and have-nots conversation. But when you opted in, you basically had to sign off saying you wouldn't sue, like the university wouldn't sue for anything that got denied or whatever. And so it took like 1 hour for people to realize, oh, well, that's the universities, but the athlete who's getting screwed here, he can sue, he can bring on the legislation. And so it was all going to go through that. And it's just, there are ways around everything, man. Nothing is concrete in this world.
Nope, not at all, especially in college athletics. We'll continue to get to your chats, folks. I want to remind everybody that we're brought to you by our friends at Basis Health, where they're changing the way healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home. A doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. It's Basis Health. They're here for you when and where you need them the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org today. All right, so continuing on with the chats. Again, appreciate everybody tuning in. I know this is something that, like in the Discord, people are really excited for us to discuss it, because I saw one of the comments here from KH. He says, problem is y'all are going to be the only media guys to actually say this is a bad problem.
Well, here's the thing, though. I'm not even saying it's a bad problem. I'm saying it shouldn't be a bad problem. That's where I'm at with it. It's like, I don't want to get it misconstrued here and being like, oh, this is horrible for art. They're screwed, whatever. No, it's not that at all. What I'm saying is if you look around, a lot of folks are championing this. This should be a good thing, is what I'm getting at. This 100% should be a good thing. It is a good thing for Arkansas basketball. It should be a good thing for Arkansas football too. You're an SEC school, man. This should be a good thing for you in terms of revenue share. And now you can still go on top of that with some more funny money. Yeah, this should be great. But what we know is what we've been told time and time again, which was there was a gap between, Arkansas and its peers and the people that's recruiting against in terms of the NIL portion of this. And boy, they really needed to go away. And that's what they were really clinging on to in terms of even in the playing field and getting back to where they want to be. And so now that that's gone, it could be a bad problem. And on the surface, it's hard not to think that way, given some of the context that we just laid out there. But they could also have a plan, and they could react to this appropriately, or maybe be forward thinking for a change, or just embrace the NIL thing altogether and just get the damn thing figured out. Because if they just get it figured out and embrace it, which they haven't done for the longest, it's unequivocally a good thing for you as fans and for the student athletes, because they're going to get paid more money and they're going to come to Arkansas to do it. That's what you want. But just given, the nature of the conversations over the last year and a half, on the surface, it doesn't seem good.
Yeah. And that's, I couldn't have said it better, because
if other people out there don't want to admit that, they're lying to you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We're not saying it has to be a damn disaster. We're saying it has been.
Yeah.
And the thing that they were clinging to is now no longer nearly as important as they thought it was going to be. That's all.
And to add to that, Curtis, I always look at it from a recruiting base. And, I think, as you said, basketball is going to be fine. We all know that. We all knew that anyways. Like, basketball is always going to be fine. But, if you're football or anything, you don't think that if you're recruiting a player, and say if Ole Miss or Mississippi State or whoever's on them too, that they're not going to be like, oh, so have you talked to Arkansas's collective? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, they don't have one. We do. So take that into consideration. Like, that's just a bad look, because then these kids that are high school kids or even transfer porters, like, oh, yeah, like, why don't they have a collective? Oh, well, they've been behind the 8 ball and they haven't really been wanting to do it. And, they got revenue share, but, it's optics, and it's optics for everybody. And that includes players, where they don't want, if I'm a player and I'm looking to make money, it's not saying it's the only thing that matters, but it is a big deal. And I'm being recruited by Arkansas that doesn't have a collective, and I'm getting recruited by another school that does, and they have all this money and they can do it this way and it's legal and all that. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going over here just for the sake of, it seems like they got their stuff together and they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. It's a lot of it's optics.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I said a minute ago, like, change the narrative. You were going to have to do that to get back on track to where you want to be. But that's the risk of really leaning all the way in on this revenue share thing as the great equalizer there. Because when you come out and you're publicly saying things like, we couldn't compete for these players under the old system, we couldn't afford them, they wanted this and we didn't have it for them, or we didn't value them that way when someone else did. All the other players are hearing is, oh shoot, I'll just go somewhere else to get my money. Right. And so on the surface, like, it's okay, or you can get away with that, or it could make a hell of a lot of sense, honestly, if this revenue share thing was what they were hoping it would be, with the collectives taking a back seat and the booster and donor influence going away. Then it's like, all right, well, fine. Yeah. Okay. I guess everyone is sort of, at least on the up and up on a level playing field. And they have to, it's a little bit more difficult to have that gap. Now it's like you kind of said all those things for no reason, it feels like, and it's just going to be used against you in the court of recruiting.
Yep. And if I'm a coach or whoever that's recruiting these kids, I'm going to hammer that till the cows come home against Arkansas. If they're even interested, I'm just going to keep hammering it. And I love how you put it. This should be something that should be a good thing, and we should be celebrating this. If you're a Razorback fan, you should be celebrating this, because I felt
if you want the celebration, listen to the pot at the Palace this morning. It happened.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Because there's plenty to celebrate there when it comes to basketball and what's going on there too. But it should be a celebration, because even when NIL was first acknowledged, I remember my first thought as a Razorback fan, I'm like, this is what is going to help Arkansas be able, at football specifically, get to, not to the top, to the Texas and Georgias, but narrow the gap. This is a slam dunk, because now all the problems that you had with recruiting was about, you just don't have the in-state talent, and you don't have the maybe the facilities. It's not as easy to get to, blah, blah, blah. Well, money is what's going to do talking. And if you have money, then, man, which I know Arkansas does, you should be able to go out there and get a bunch of better players and be able to narrow that gap. And since the beginning, and now really, it's just, you don't feel that way. So it should be something that everybody at Arkansas should be like, yes, absolutely. Let's go. Let's get after this. Let's do it. And it just doesn't give that vibe right now. Let's see a few more chats here too. Really appreciate it. Everybody.
Good stuff in here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Golly, I mean, I know this guy. He does super chat. We got to read it, but shout out to Brock. Appreciate the super chat. He said maybe Bo Mattingly can fix the NIL issues. Wow.
Hey, I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is, man.
Yeah. Maybe so. And I mean, because again, Arkansas is in the best shape in football it's been since 2012, I hear. So it should be easy. To do.
Maybe it's already fixed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's been fixed. We're the dumb ones. Let's see. Evan says, can we get John set up with one of the Walton heiresses? Then you can slowly convince her to fund the football program.
On it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll wingman him into it. We'll get that done.
Yeah. I'll get on the dating app and see if I can find her on the Tinder or whatever it is. But yeah, I'll get on that and see if we can find her. And I'll let you guys know. We like, what is it? If you watch Chappelle's show when he hooked up with Oprah, and like he just got all the money and everything like that. I'll just be sitting back painting things and going to football games and watching us win championships. Simple as that. Okay. Let's see. Michelle says, for someone who likes to tan, I think and feel like you need the beach in Mexico, John. Okay. Relax, Michelle. Maybe one day.
Fair. Yeah.
I'll be able to go at some point.
I really am stunned that you haven't done Cancun. That John Neighbors in your college tenure that you didn't do Cancun? We need to do a poll. It's too late now because the world already knows. Well, we should have done a poll. Has John Neighbors done Cancun? Yes or no?
Oh yeah. I give off the vibe that I have before, but I didn't even have a passport, so I probably need one of those.
Man, mine expired, and I've heard it's a pain in the butt to get it re-upped. So
Which I don't know why it should be a pain. Maybe that's why I've avoided that anyways. It's just like I hear no matter what, it's a pain. But yeah, I don't know. We'll once trying to think. Arkansas basketball needs to do. I'm sure they'll do another place. I don't know what. I guess I'm not going to go to Italy for basketball. That would be pretty cool. But and Hawaii's not out of the country. I was trying to think if they do. Was it Costa Rica? Was it or the Bahamas? You guys went, right?
We went to the Bahamas. Cal. It will not happen in the John Calipari era.
Yeah,
he does not do Maui. He doesn't do those MTEs like that. But what he does is the foreign tours, and so. I don't know if he would do Italy or, Spain and stuff like that. But I remember just a few years ago, he took that Kentucky team to like the Dominican Republic, and they were playing like the Dominican national team or Puerto Rico or whatever, which Puerto Rico is not it's a U.S. territory, but it's a little exotic for you, John. I mean, good grief. We just go to an island somewhere and hang out. So hopefully they do that. I think it's either next year at this time or the year after that where they're eligible to do it again. You do it like once every 4 years or something.
Oh, well, I'm telling you right now, Curtis, with the luck I have traveling, I'm scared to go because I may end up being captured by, nationalists of the country and like with AKs and Jeeps and just, because they saw me have a Razorback on my shirt or something like it means
ransom video posted on your socials. And
yes, like just again, the way I travel, my luck, maybe going to certain countries would not be the best idea, all things considered. So, geez. Oh, man. Continue to get to your chats. I know we'll have a lot more, but I want to remind everybody that we're brought to you by our friends at BetSaracen, the #1 sports betting app in the state of Arkansas. It's not even close. I know a lot of you are looking at the upcoming football season. If you're excited about it, great. And if you're not, that's great too, because no matter where you lean, no matter what you're thinking, they have all the future bets to be able to give you that information on what you were thinking. You're thinking that Arkansas will win over 5 games, 6 games. They have specials on that. Do you think Arkansas is going to win the SEC title? You're crazy. But hey, you can put some money down on it because they have specials on that too. Got Major League Baseball going on. They got it all. So check it out today. It's BetSaracen at BetSaracen.com, and also download the app on your iPhone or Android. It is BetSaracen. And man, it would be nice to have that raffle idea that they came up with a few months ago. Run it right now. I think so. It'd be pretty cool. All right. So again, few of your chats we really appreciate. We're trying to get to a lot of these and dealing with what's been going on. But let's see. Also, Vids for me says, Curtis, are the changes we made like firing people, not giving raises, seating changes, all for nothing now? No,
they're not all for nothing. They are they're helping fund the revenue share side of this. Like, cause that's not going away, like that, the 20.5 million, that they're going to be sharing with the student athletes or the athletes or whatever the heck you want to call them nowadays. That's what all that was for is for them to make the wiggle room necessary to get there. Now, the problem with that is, one, that's going to keep increasing every year who are moving. Like that's going to get upwards of 30 million, at some point over the next several years. Like it's only going to, this is only going to get bigger from here. So no, because they still have to do that. What they have to do now, in addition to that, or on top of that, is get the collective side of this figured out, which they haven't done in 5 years since NIL has been a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or they'll just be in the same, they'll just have the same exact issues that they've had for those years.
Well, and something you've said too, and I think people also need to understand, I know we're in the moment, is $20.5 million. That's a yearly thing. So yeah. If they're already struggling with that right now, and then on top of the NIL stuff, next year, man, you again, this is why it's so important to have plans in place and to be able to put things together, because it's not, as you said, it's not going away. It's going to keep happening. And until you change with the times, you are continuing to going to get left behind further and further each and every year.
Mm-hmm. And Vids for me followed up. He said, I know it's not going away, just more so saying that we were banking on it so much. Now it's not even helpful. I see what you're saying, but yeah, like at the same time, you have to have that 20.5, like whatever that number is every year, you have to have it to be able to give out. Otherwise, you're just widening the gap that you already have, because these other schools in the SEC are going to have it. Like they're good for it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so you don't want to, if you're going to, you'll probably still have some level of discrepancy here. Could be very large. Maybe it won't be. We'll see from the NIL and the collective side of things here. So you at least got to be on level ground and meet your price point for the damn revenue share. That's going to be very important.
Can I also throw in something into this as well? I'm not saying this is what they would do or should do or be right to do, but if it's as bad as it seems and all of this, we know that Cal in basketball is fine. They're going to be just fine. They could be fine without the revenue sharing. I think Razorback baseball, to be honest, would be fine without the revenue sharing. It would help, of course. But if it's in desperate situation, why not be like, hey, all right, 100% of it goes to football. And basketball with the NIL stuff, you guys keep doing it with Johnny T. Baseball, I know Dave Van Horn's got a lot of connections. Again, not saying that's for sure what would happen, but maybe that's a possible option if it's as bad as what it is, and you got to do something right now. Maybe that's what you do. I'm not sure, but
that's an interesting thought. And I shared with you yesterday some conversations that I was having on the basketball side of things, where it sounds like Arkansas basketball, from a revenue share standpoint, is expected to be, at least like the industry expectation, and the agents kind of have it as Arkansas being, second on the totem pole in the SEC by way of revenue share for basketball. Kentucky, we talked about the other day, way up there. But then Arkansas and maybe a little bit of a gap between them and the others. And I've heard some reports out there that some of these SEC schools are getting like less than $3 million in revenue share for basketball, because of the kind of, to your point, like the influx for football. And some of those schools, they aren't giving anything to baseball or women's whatever, because they're not generating any of that revenue. That's just the way it is. So from a percentage standpoint, some of them are giving 80, 85%, maybe more even to their football programs. And so that's an interesting thing to consider. Like if you've got your man, John Tyson, there and having those conversations, be like, all right, well, what are we going to be able to do now on an NIL front, within the collective front and everything like that? Maybe he would be willing to adjust or be flexible there, Cal.
Yeah,
that's an interesting thought.
Yeah, or give him stock options in Tyson or something. I don't know.
Because we talk about that 20.5, and I know we get so stuck on football, but they're the ones that are going to get the majority of it. They're the ones that need it. They're the ones that have talked so much about how important it is. But that is for everyone. That's the whole athletic department there. And they can allocate it however they want. Like the SEC doesn't set those guidelines. The NCAA doesn't set those guidelines. Hunter Yurachek does, in terms of the percentages that they're allocating there. So he's kind of within his rights. And he'd piss a lot of people off probably if he was like, look, I'm giving 100% of this to football, man, the full 20.5 or whatever that is, minus their new scholarships that go into that. He could do that if he wanted to. He won't, but he could.
Yep. It's up to them. A few more here. KH says, when do decommitments start, because they can get more money elsewhere now?
Well, it's a good question. But at the same time, I don't know that you're going to see a whole lot of that with Arkansas, with this 2026 recruiting class. Part of the reason I would say is because, I mean, if you go look at it, and they've got 26 commitments or whatever, and 23 3-stars. And they're doing that, but like they're approaching it from a standpoint of like, let's get our depth in here through the high school ranks, and let's see if we can build those guys up through the years. What you have to worry about is your main guys that you were thinking, hey, maybe they could be something early. These guys are really good. The 4-stars, the top end guys in this class that maybe you did pay up a little bit for to get, and some of them came recently. You have to keep those dudes on board now, because yes, others could come and say, hey, I don't know what they're offering you over at Arkansas, but all of a sudden we've got another $100,000 to give you, or $250,000 to give you, or whatever. Yeah, that could absolutely be a thing. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. Will Arkansas be in a position to match if they need to match? I don't know, but it's, again, it's just, I get uncomfortable, because even now that this has been a thing for the last few weeks here, we have seen that Arkansas, like, for example, the in-state recruiting thing, we've talked so much about, like letting the 4-stars go and whatever. And part of the conversation was, well, they wanted this much money and we weren't really in a position to give them that much money, or we didn't want to. So we're letting them leave the state, and maybe we can get another guy that we like for less or whatever. So they're still playing that game, even with this revenue share stuff into effect, which is why a few weeks ago we were having the conversation of, is this really having the impact they were hoping that it was? It's just, there's some mixed messaging there and some things that kind of make you raise a brow.
Yeah. And it goes back to what I know me and you and all of us have talked about. It's like communication, man. Just the communication on stuff is so crucial in all of this, and keeping people up to date. Because, they want to help, they want to be in the know. But if you're not communicative, then people are going to start speculating and kind of drawing their own conclusions. And if you don't want that, you can prevent that by being communicative in all of it. A few more here. Trey says, next presser, someone should ask Sam if we are still up and up on with everyone else after this came out. He said we shouldn't have problems going forward with money. I think, we kind of talked about that.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get asked that question.
Yes.
How he's going to answer it, I will be fascinated to see. That's going to be the single biggest question he will have had to answer in his career.
Yep.
At Arkansas. And here's the answer he can't give. I don't know what to do.
Yep.
Because we've heard that one before.
Cannot do that.
He's going to have a good one there for sure.
Yep. Because also too, not even to say I don't know, but I also don't want to hear him be like, well, I'm leaving that to your check, or I'm leaving that to the people in charge and all that, because
ask Remy. Yeah.
Right. And the reason I don't want to hear that is because Pittman has been, anytime he's asked, brought this up. He's never said before, oh, I'm just leaving that over to Remy and all of them. He's given answers. So the time that he doesn't give an answer to it, he might as well say, I don't know, because he always has given an answer, which to me would say, they haven't told me what's going on yet. And so I have no idea. And that's not what you want to hear. Let's see. Showtime Production says, not going to lie, there's a part of me that hates all of this and just wants college sports to go back to the way they were in the 2010s. Student athletes playing for the name on the front of the jersey. Wow.
I think a lot of people probably feel that way, man. And I'm with you. I'm all for, student athletes getting compensated and being able to capitalize off the revenue that frankly they generate by playing, being out there on the court, on the field, whatever. But it has taken away, I think, from some of what makes college athletics so special. And, getting to know players over the course of 4 years. And like you said, playing for the name on the front of the jersey, all that stuff is great. It's awesome. Unfortunately, and this, I'm preaching to the choir, but the times are a-changing, and you kind of have to evolve to it. But I know that it's like, I have friends who I grew up with who are just diehard, Razorback fans and entrenched in college football and everything else. But they just don't mess with it anymore. It's this stuff has kind of turned them off and burned them out on it. And they spend their time watching other things and paying attention to other things.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting to the point to where I've always said that no matter what happens, if the Razorbacks win a championship, I don't really care how it was done. I don't care how much money they made. I don't care about any of those things. All these things become issues when you're not competing in it and you're not being one of those teams. And so I still believe that if you're a Razorback fan and you're not happy with the way things currently are, I get it totally. I know this is one of the biggest changes we've seen, but there's also been some other changes too, where I'm sure people have been in history of college athletics being, I don't like this at all anymore. I don't like the fact that they're getting more scholarships than this other team. There could have been anything, but people still watched and people still were a part of it. So hopefully people continue to do that. Also like this from Finch. He said, members only content is worth missing out on the one Starbucks drink a month when you're paying that $5 a month. That's true. Like that. Yeah. He's talking about being a member here of Inside Arkansas. You insiders of Arkansas with our YouTube and everything for a members only stream, which we'll do that again here soon. And we'll keep you updated. It was really cool. I wasn't a part of it. That's probably why it was really cool, but it was,
that's part of the reason for sure.
Yeah,
but
for sure. Yeah. If this next one, if I'm on it and it's terrible and it sucks, I'm like, all right, I'm never doing this again. It's like, just y'all can do it from here on out.
Some people were suggesting, and this had to be a you and Andrew deal, I guess. And I could just kind of be there hanging out or whatever, but like doing the video game stream or whatever. And maybe playing against each other or something, just while we're riffing and, answering questions and hanging out with the chat and everything like that. Cause it was really cool, but I could see how after 2.5 hours, folks get tired of looking at my face and Andrew's face. And they're like, can you just put something else on the screen while you yap, please?
Yeah. Let the chat let the chat dictate and criticize my play calling in that video game. That's because that's always great, like it was the last time. A few more here because I know we'll get to our heavy hitters in just a second. Also, Heartbroken Hawk says going without pot at the Palace after Curtis has the baby will be one of the hardest things I've ever done. I'm not speaking for Curtis, but I'm just telling you right now. I'm not saying there won't be any drop off, but Curtis's work ethic and the fact that he just does not want to stay away, I have a feeling that it's not going to be as bad as what you think as far as him staying away from pot at the Palace.
We need to set like an over under or whatever on how many days it'll be post birth of child before my wife allows me to jump back on the pot at the Palace. I'll be able to get back on that a little bit quicker than it'll be getting back on this show, I think, because I just record a pot at the Palace at 3 a.m. or whatever, so we'll see. We'll talk to Vegas and we'll set a line and we'll see if we can get on SARACEN actually.
Yeah. And we may have to set you up with one of those filters too, to make it look like you're not as dog tired and beat down on the video as you probably will be, like make those like auto enhances to make your face look like you're sunshine and rainbows, even though you're dying a little bit inside because you don't even know what time it is.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Also, Chris says, I need more content to watch. I get so bored when y'all aren't online. Does anyone know any more content to watch on the Razorbacks? Well, you can watch Pod at the Palace each and every day. Got the Bombastic podcast. I'm going to throw out my Locked On Razorbacks podcast if you want to check that out as well. So just because we're not live doesn't mean we don't have a bunch of Razorback content amongst ourselves.
Yeah, I would say between the three of us, there's between 3 and 4 hours of content out there every day. And, and I don't want to spoil any big secrets here, but hey, football is coming up. And so that's going to ramp some things up there too. So there legitimately will be a time here very soon where between our crew here at Inside Arkansas, we'll have, good grief, man, like 5 hours a day worth of stuff out there. It's kind of crazy to think about. And then of course, when cool stuff happens, breaking news, whatever, we'll go live on top of that. So there's gonna be a lot going on, man.
Yep.
I hope that we can keep you entertained.
Yeah, we will do our best to make that happen. But we'll get to more of your chats, folks. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff. Some stuff we may not even get to today. We'll have to wait till tomorrow because we appreciate all the chats. And it's a really good discussion on everything. But let's go ahead and do our heavy hitters here on the show. And it's presented by our friends over at HD Roofing and Construction. Storms can hit unexpectedly, as we all know. So be sure to contact HD Roofing for your peace of mind with that free inspection. No matter if any type of weather is going to hit. It could be snow, it could be ice, it could be rain, it could be wind. I mean, everything. You got to make sure that your roof is good to go because last time I checked, roofs are important when it comes to your households. You need them and they come in handy. So let HD Roofing take care of you. They have professionalism, they use the top quality materials, and they also have expert installation for all of your roofing needs. So contact them today at 501-428-0429. That's 501-428-0429. You can also check out their website at hdarkansas.com. You also have the little QR code you can scan that way too. Either way, get that roof taken care of with our friends over at HD Roofing and Construction. So, okay. Let's see. A little heavy hitter action. And again, we'll get to your chats and everything. But my heavy hitter for today, Curtis, is going to be a little low-hanging fruit, but still pretty cool. Shout out to Charles Davalon, old Chuck D. Okay. Get in his contract deal with the Dodgers. I know this. Sorry, folks, he's not coming back next year. I know you're all shocked. Thought he's going to be a Razorback. He thought this news with the NIL collective stuff. You're like, oh, now we can go get Davalon. Nope, he's officially signed. He's receiving $2 million, which is great. But I was a little fascinated because in there it says a little short of the slot value for his pick. So he's taking 41st overall. The slot value is usually $2.836 million, but just got $2 million. So I guess he just hates the Hogs. He's not a true Razorback. He just want to do it. No, it's not true at all.
Taking a pay cut to get out of here.
Yeah. He knew that the collective's in shambles at Arkansas. He's like, I don't want no part of that. No, I mean, listen, to go and do that is awesome. So congrats to him. Also, Gage Wood, I'll throw him in there in the mix too. With the Phillies organization, he has that contract officially signed. It's just so crazy seeing him in that video. I should have pulled it, but him just walking through the hallways of the Phillies and signing the deal and all that. I'm like, this is the same kid from Batesville, man. That was, you're talking about, I had him on my radio show years ago when he was a freshman and talking about fishing and all of that. And now he's over here, first round pick, no hitter, and dude just balling out. So just shout out to them. I think Root also, if I'm not mistaken.
I was about to say, I thought right before the show that Root might have officially signed too. I don't know the details, but I'm pretty sure I saw that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's hard things. But yeah, so he did. He did sign with the Dodgers for $2.2 million,
Right.
which is slot value of $2.44 million. So, but yeah, he was also able to sign as well. So either way, love the fact that you got guys like them getting paid, and it also goes to show you if you come to Arkansas and you're good, you're going to get drafted really high and make a lot of money. So shout out to them. But those are my heavy hitters, I guess, for the Razorback baseball players getting those big deals.
Gotcha. I like that. I like that a lot. I have 4 heavy hitters in a variety of things. 2 of them are going to be very, very quick here. 1, collectives.
Hey,
Woo, they're back. 2, Jimbo Fisher is back, baby. Did you see that?
yes.
ACC Network studio analyst. It's too damn bad that he's not going to be on SEC Network. Would love to just hear him do the auctioneer thing up there, just rambling, man, over and over. But I saw that. I got a kick out of it. As soon as I saw, it was, I can't remember whose notifications I had turned on, but you just see like the very beginning of it. And it was like former Florida State and Texas A&M. And I was like, what the hell did Jimbo do? What did he do, man? No, he's just back on TV, whatever. It's good for him. I'm happy for him.
Yeah. Shout out to him also, because I do whatever you want, but man, if I was making the money that he just made off getting fired from A&M, I would never even think about football ever again for the rest of my life. But shout out to him. He needs something to do. That's a perfect thing for him. And as you said, if they can slow him down, you may have to put him on like 0.75 speed when you're watching him, because that dude talks as fast as an auctioneer, as you mentioned. But I never had a problem with Jimbo. He's kind of goofy.
Whatever,
but
yeah.
if I had that money, man, I wouldn't be doing nothing like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt about it. My third one, heavy hitter in a sense of they just been hit with some heaviness over the course of this summer. How about Memphis basketball? Good grief, man. Like they're heavy hitters for all the wrong reasons. I'm going to do just a very quick offseason timeline here for Penny Hardaway's squad. They're All-American, PJ Haggerty, hits the transfer portal, and he goes to Kansas freaking State for a lower NIL offer than Memphis initially gave him. Ouch. They got popped for the 2-year probation for having softball players take quizzes for their team. Their top assistant coach bolts in July to go to Tennessee State. Your best transfer that you brought in, Sincere Parker, was just arraigned and this week and charged with aggravated assault. So he's dealing with that. And then, your university offered the Big 12 $200 million to join their league, and they told you to get bent. That's brutal, man.
I don't know what Memphis has done. Like maybe they got some sort of stench surrounding them, but it's incredible to see some of the things that's happened and continue to happen to where, I'm not hating on them, but it's not like their athletic program's garbage. I mean, their football program has been pretty good and relevant over the past decade or so. Their basketball program, I mean, John Calipari is a great example of that. Like they can win at a high level and have a lot of talent, but for whatever reason, man, nobody wants a part of them. Like nobody wants anything to do with them. It's crazy.
It is wild. It's wild. My other heavy hitters, I started to do, and this might be something that you want to touch on. I don't know if you want to do it today or not, but just some of the chirping coming out of the different media days. Like Rhett Lashley did his thing, but I'm going to go just a little bit of a different direction for a heavy hitter. I'm going to go Virginia football as a heavy hitter because they are apparently too daunting of a challenge for old No Smoke Signetti over there at Indiana, who just continues to do like a bunch of mental gymnastics to justify playing a schedule that's worse than Missouri's. And his comments yesterday, they rubbed me the wrong way. I understand what he's trying to say. It rubbed me the wrong way. Did you hear his little thing about Barry Odom?
Oh, I did not hear that.
Rubbed me the wrong way because I guess Odom said something about his scheduling and they asked him about it and he was like, I don't think about that too much, but then I kind of do. And he's got his own opinion, but yeah, he shouldn't have said that. It was just very like a passive aggressive, weird thing. Signetti was a guy, when we were doing like Pittman's going to get thrown out of here, who's going to be the next head coach thing last year. And a lot of people were on that Kurt Signetti deal. And
Yeah.
Hell, he did a good job at JMU and then in Indiana last year, but dude's rubbing me the wrong way with some of the things he says there. And there is no defending the schedule for you. It'd be one thing if you played Arkansas's SEC schedule and you had 9 games or whatever, and then you didn't want to play anybody outside of the league. They've got like the easiest schedule in the Big Ten year in and year out here lately, and then they're just like you're taking Virginia off of your schedule as if that's like, oh my God, we can't play them. It's already hard enough as it is. Come on, man, get out of here.
Well, I'll say this. I agree with everything you said. And that Kurt Signetti gives the vibe of somebody that's just been talked about in too positive of a way and he let it get to his head is what it comes across. But I will say all the stuff that the Big Ten and media days and all that have been saying has been dumb and all that. But I am jealous of it because that's what SEC football media days used to be, is talking trash, taking shots at each other, at other conferences. And as years have gone on, like this past week, it was really cool and great, but comparatively speaking, it was boring. It was so boring. Eli Drinkwitz was the only one doing anything. And then I see Big Ten, they're taking shots at the SEC. They're taking shots at other coaches and everything. I'm like, thank you. Like that's what media days should be. It's just fun, talking trash, talking C's. Like Spurrier would get up there and say crazy stuff, man. And I miss it. So shout out to them for making media days what it should be. That trash talk. Yeah. So
did you agree with Rhett Lashley's? What did you think about that? Did you listen to it?
Yeah. You're talking about as far as what
he said. He said that the SEC is not as deep as everybody says it is. They've had the same six champions or whatever since 1964. It's like, so are they really that deep? It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah. Well, first off, it's a stupid comment, and second off, we did a Locked On roundtable last night, and my point was, I'm like, I wonder why he chose since 1964. It wasn't the last 50 years. It wasn't the last 10, like whatever. He's like, since 1964. What happened that year? Oh, Arkansas won it. So then your argument just goes a little bit less. So you're like, no, not since 1964. It's kind of like saying, man, the SEC, they haven't won a title since 2023. It's like, okay. All right. So it was very specific on what he was trying to say. And also I'm like, dude, okay, relax, SMU. The only reason you're even in the ACC is because you told him, like, you don't have to pay us anything. We just want to join the conference. And you get into the conference and you have a nice year, you get into the playoff, you get smoked. Then you come out and be like, yeah, the SEC, you guys are nothing. You guys are trash. It's like, dude, you joined the conference and the only reason in there is because you do it for free. So now you're going to talk trash. I just thought that was kind of a dumb deal, but
it was it was crazy. I don't know. Well, that stuff always cracks me up, man. Yeah, I think Rhett Lashley went back to 64 just to include Arkansas. That way he can bring it up at his introductory press conference in a few years.
I mean, I can't argue that logic. And because I know Feinbaum went off on him, and Feinbaum made sure to mention, and he's from Arkansas, right? He played at Arkansas. It's like
both of those guys that were yapping yesterday were they were probably the two most frequently named coaches when everybody was like, Pittman's gonna get fired at the end of the year. Those were the two guys that we heard the most. This year it'll be John Gruden and who knows who else.
Nick Saban. Exactly. That's good. It's gonna be nonstop. Hey, shout out to Bert though, Bielema. He was up there doing Bielema stuff. So, but it's just funny because he has that perspective of being in the SEC and being in the Big Ten, and one was a lot more successful than the other. But that's where I was kind of like, man, Bielema. I know you say some stuff that's kind of crazy, and like never forget when he talked about death certificates when dealing with player safety and something like sometimes he goes a little out of pocket, but I'm glad that he didn't go into the thing like, oh, the Big Ten's superior to the SEC. I mean, I experienced. I'm like, no, you sucked in the SEC, my man. There's nothing you can say. Like, you can't come in there and be like, nah, the Big Ten's superior. It's like, nope, that's not the case. That's not the case. So
I do see that according to CBS Sports, Bielema is not one of the top 5 coaches in the Big Ten. They've been doing their conference coaching rankings. Sam Pittman was 15th in the SEC.
Yeah,
ahead of Dan Lanning, I guess. Is that who he was ahead of?
No, he's ahead of.
I don't know why I said Dan Lanning. Jeff Levy. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, dude, Dan Lanning. Hopefully not. Levy's pretty good. But Jeff Levy. Yeah, I was gonna. Again, we had so much to talk about. We can get into that too a little bit more tomorrow, unless more craziness happens today. Who knows? But
it's been one of those weeks, man.
Yeah, thankful for it because it's been good discussion. Not to say that every day we wake up, you're like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? We don't know. But it helps whenever I don't have to sit here and be like, all right, let's try to get creative with this nonsense. And
until we talk to Ben Souders, next Thursday or whenever, Wednesday, whenever it's going to be, I'm guessing it'll be Souders Wednesday, Pittman Thursday, and then fall camp starts Friday. I think that's what it'll look like.
Okay.
So we'll see. But yeah, until then, it's like we kind of need some news, man.
I hope somebody just asked Souders, like, first question. All right, so NIL clearinghouse collectives, what do you think?
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm just over here trying to make sure my guys get gains.
Yeah.
I ain't worried about this nonsense.
Hey, let me tell you who the freaks are, okay?
Yeah. What was the guy? It was Ben Herbert, but it was when the lights go out, the freaks come out, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
A video popped up on my timeline the other day. I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
I remember I remember looking back, I was so pissed. He'd have him doing like one-legged squats at midfield, like about 600 pounds. And I'm like,
with the red light on,
breaking their feet, man. Like, why are they doing, like, when are you going to need a one-footed squat in football?
I do. It's one of my guilty pleasures, though, is that Ben Souders interview every year, because I love that stuff. The numbers, like, okay, who ran 22 miles an hour? What? That's crazy. Like, what this dude squats how much? Are you kidding me? I always get excited about that kind of stuff.
What was the thing last year? Was it simply the 22 miles? Because I felt like there was some sort of drill or something. Like, yeah, we got 22 guys out here that are running this thing faster than 8.7 seconds, which is the average. And it's like, I'm sure. Yeah, let's go with that. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm with you. The strength and conditioning thing is something that's vastly underrated because it is very important, but also you better make sure whoever your strength and conditioning coach is extreme and insane and like all of that.
Well, and another thing that's going to be really interesting with him, I don't know why I'm getting into this now. We'll talk about it next week, but I do want to hear, well, what was Cam Ball able to do?
Yeah.
What was Kobe Branham able to do with that? I think it was his pec that he messed up in the spring. Because you think about linemen and, the importance of that upper body strength and everything that goes into that. They might not have been able to make as much gains as some of these other guys, but how do you, how are you able to work around that? Where are they at and everything? He'll be able to give some pretty good insight into that, but yeah, it'll be good. I go Ben Souders, man.
Yeah. I know, and I'm not trying to hate on this individual. I'm just saying you don't want your strength and conditioning coach being like Kenny Payne out there. Like that. Yeah. That would be tough. Could you imagine you're trying to do your max bench and you got Kenny Payne saying, "Come on, man, let's go, let's do this." Like, wouldn't be good.
What was the name? Do you remember the strength coach before they got fired after the Mizzou game?
It was Jamal Ashley. I think.
No, that was the D-line coach, right?
No, Walker.
Yeah.
Walker. I forgot his first name, but it was I think Javon Walker, something like that.
Jamil
Walker.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Him and the nutritionist got fired after he was like, we just got bullied by Mizzou.
Yep.
and sucks, but
yeah. Well, and there was also like the locker room issues where a lot of places caused by him.
Yeah.
So, right. Yeah, it's one of the things you can't do out there, folks. If you're working for a major university, you're the strength and conditioning coach, probably don't need to be talking to players and saying like, hey, you should be starting. And I don't know what coach is doing there. He's dumb and stupid. Probably don't need to do that if you want to keep your job.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Ben Souders is a good dude. I like Ben Souders.
Yeah, I do too. Him and his mustache guy, the guy with the twirly mustache. I always forget his name. Doesn't matter. But that guy is pure energy, and I love
every day at fall. It's that year when they were doing the fall camp practices, and we were getting out there like 6:15 in the morning, and he's out there. And practice hasn't even started yet, and he's already drenched in sweat. I'm like, what the heck has this guy been doing? Bully ball, set the tone, win the rep. Just screaming. Love that guy.
And seeing this guy like just go up to these like 6'6", 300-pound guys just screaming at him. It's like, it's crazy. I'm not saying him, but I'm like, dude, people like that. You just think that they just do a line real quick and let's roll. Like we're getting after it. We're gonna do some Omaha drills out here and make it happen. So yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be great. All right, we'll get to your chats, folks, and we'll also get to some summer topics and clean up some of the storylines too. But I want to remind everybody that we're brought to you by our friends over at Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. We know that the days of summer are still here. It's still warm outside. It still gets pretty warm and hot. But hey, here's the deal. You want to be out on the boat. You want to be out on the water. So let Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas take care of that for you. You don't have to worry about buying a boat, dealing with the maintenance of the boat, dealing with the slips, the marinas, anything like that. They are going to be the ones that take care of you. And they got locations at Greers Ferry Lake, Lake Hamilton, or even the Day on the river down there, the Arkansas River. Ever heard of it? It's pretty big. But down there in Little Rock, they have a marina there as well. And they're going to make sure they make the summer here in the natural state the best one you've ever had. So check them out today at freedomboatclubar.com. That's freedomboatclubar.com. And you can also use that QR code. Check them out also on Instagram and learn more about the benefits of joining the club today with Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas, which, as a reminder, we're going to be doing a live show on a boat August 13th. Looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun to dive into that, and it's going to be down at Lake Hamilton and Hot Springs. So if y'all are going to be in the area August 13th at noon in Hot Springs, come by and see us and hang out and check out Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. All right, too. So we'll get into some summer topics, but I did want to bring up a few things, Curtis, that, because, we had so much, and some of these things we may dive into a little bit more tomorrow. But, man, I hate that for Luke Hasz, the tight end, former Razorback, and now at Ole Miss. Or is it Dylan Hasz? Sorry. That was out for the year. I believe it's Luke Hasz. I think
Luke Hasz is the tight end.
Yes. Sorry, I just drew a blank. But having another injury, he had to have surgery. I know some people feel a certain way, and I'm not big on that, but you do hate it for any athlete that gets injured, especially ones that's had multiple injuries and dealing with injuries and all those things. That sucks, man. That sucks. And it sucks for him. And it's I think, not to say everything's the same, but I think back to like Jalen Catalon, for instance, and how many injuries he's had. And, somebody's a great player, but if he can't get healthy, it's tough to overcome and tough to deal with. So, but
that sucks. I didn't realize he had I had heard maybe he had a pretty tough injury, but is that for real? Like he had to have surgery and stuff?
Well, this is, I'm just going to read from Best of Arkansas Sports, because this is where I saw from was Andrew Hutchinson.
Gotcha.
But he said that, let's see, Santa Lucas was talking about him at the tight end position. Sorry, I got to get through all this SEO stuff.
Yeah.
No offense. I get it.
Been there. I get it.
Yeah. But it says Arkansas alum Dowell Loggins was the man who brought highly talented Hasz to Fayetteville. It says, okay, come on, man. I just saw this the other day. Oh, he said Luke Hasz had surgery on Friday. He was saying when he was on the buzz. Says, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but he's going through some stuff. I was on the phone with him Thursday, and it's because we care about the kid. We recruited him. We're excited about his future. You're in the corner of life, but you want to help him be successful. So bringing up, it was a little weird that Dowell Loggins, who's over at App State, brings up Luke Hasz going through surgery, and he's going through some stuff. So anyways, that was
I see it now from the Clarion Ledger over there that reports on Ole Miss. Top Ole Miss football transfer Luke Hasz could miss season with ankle injury. That sucks. Yeah, because what was it? Collarbone as a freshman, and then the back was just a big problem for him last year. And then, dang, man, that's tough.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is it's never good no matter what, but to have it basically major injuries and dealing with major injuries in 3 different spots, it's not like the same reoccurring one. That's really unfortunate. So, and
doesn't his brother play for Dowell over there?
Yes,
so that's probably how he.
Yeah, dang, I figured that was the case, but I kept seeing like what does Dowell Loggins know about Luke Hasz? And that's why I kept thinking maybe it was Dylan, and then it all made sense. So how about that from Dowell Loggins from another team reporting a major injury from another.
Just dropping bombs, man. Gosh.
Yeah. He's like, whoops, I didn't mean to say that, but I guess you're gonna have to do it. All right, so we'll get to your chats, but just a few of these summer topics because these are pretty fun to get into. This is just one off the top of your head, anything that stands out, but just a single throw by a Razorback quarterback. Is there a throw that you ever witnessed, whether it was a long touchdown or threading the needle or on the run, but just any sort of pass that you remember a quarterback for Arkansas throwing? You're like, holy crap, how do you do that?
Trying to think off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember specifics. I will say, and they're going to be better ones than this. But I do remember, I don't know if it was a great throw, but he definitely kind of thread the needle. But I can't believe I'm bringing this kid up. Mitch Mustaine in that win against Alabama in overtime. I'll just never forget it because he was like 7 of 21 or something at the time. And just kind of threaded there between 2 defenders to, I think it was Ben Cleveland for the touchdown. It was kind of a hell of a throw. So that's one. I remember some of the deep balls that Felipe Franks threw. That dude had a freaking cannon that was really impressive. I know there's a couple KJ throws that really stood out to me, but I'd had to really think about some specifics there.
Yeah, like I said, it's just off top of your head, which those stand up. Yeah, I think not that I remember this, Curtis, but Mitch Mustaine was 5 for 19 at that point in time.
Is that what it was? Okay, all right. Yeah,
throwing 3 interceptions. Just not that I remember that game well, considering it was the last time Arkansas beat Alabama.
Exactly. Yeah.
the Bush administration. Yeah, that was a great throw. And Vern Lundquist, Springdale freshman to Springdale freshman. But that was a good one. No, one of the ones I always remember, of course, Mallet is always going to be brought up with me. But that Georgia game in 2009 when he threw 3 touchdown passes in the first quarter, which was insane. That one to Greg Childs was just beautiful. There was one in Mississippi State with Kobe Hamilton. That was awesome too. I think about also Brandon Allen. I know people are going to say this, but dude, that Mississippi State game where he had 7 touchdown passes, and I hate this stat. Just to remind everybody, Brandon Allen threw 7 touchdown passes, 0 picks in a regulation game, and lost. So I don't know how many people have done that, but that was pretty rough. Either way, he had some great throws. One of them to Hunter Henry. He got hit as he threw it. It was like a bootleg play action. Gets hit, and I mean, just perfect right there. So there were some really good ones.
Does Reed Bauer to Blake Kern count?
Hey,
he's a quarterback on that play. I mean,
no, it counts. It was a throw. It was a throw.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And it wasn't the throw that was the memorable part of this, but I do remember KJ to Burks at Alabama when Traylon just turned up the field and just ran off and left Alabama's entire defense in their secondary. When I realized, oh my God, this dude is like legitimately a freak. And that's why I can't believe he hasn't taken off for him in the NFL. But yeah, so not the throw, but kind of the after the catch stuff was ridiculous on that one.
Yeah. And I remember, speaking of that play, that's when, like, we all knew Burks was good, but when you see it in that real time and to outrun him like he did, it's not like those guys had bad angles or anything. It's just he outran them. That reminds me, speaking of a run, I think maybe Ellis brought this up the other day, but that 2006 Arkansas LSU game where McFadden ran for 80 yards, that was kind of a similar play where they just thought that they had him, and then he hit that 5th gear, and they're like, "Oh crap!" and he was gone. So that's kind of similar with that Burks play, but yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah.
You have another one?
Well, I was going to ask if is there anything that stands out to you throw wise from the Starkle Hicks era, or
can we count the throw that the punter made against Auburn that was
sure
trying to be a fake? You remember the chest pass he did?
Oh yeah,
the Auburn guy just
if it wasn't for the North Texas, punt situation, that would have been the special teams play. That who was it DMAC that was getting interviewed at the time?
Yep. And he had to like look over and he's just like got his hands on his head. I'm like, what have we become?
That was tough stuff.
Yeah. Imagine running a fake punt that disastrous. I'll tell you what, that there's also someone who didn't need to be known for their throws. Anytime Kendall Briles ran a wide receiver pass.
Yeah. We have praised Traylon Burks here a lot, but and he passed that poor dude through. Who else were they trying to have to throw the football?
Warren Thompson,
Davion Warren.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely the Warren Thompson thing was one that was always made me laugh.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I'm like, if at what point do you say, hey, this isn't working, let's not do this anymore? That was rough.
They tried to do it with now I don't remember if he tried to pass or if they just direct snap to him down on the goal line. Trey Knox that time.
That was against Missouri.
Yeah.
And Arkansas had the lead. Not that I remember this in 2022 there. And it was either 3rd and short or 4th and short. It was 3rd and short. And they ran Trey Knox under center, snapped it to try to get it because they were like a yard or 2 out and got stuffed. And everyone's like, you have KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders in the backfield that are combined 600 pounds almost. And you're just like, hey, we're going to throw Trey Knox in here under center and just see what happens.
Yeah, to the undersized tight end. Okay.
Golly. I forgot all about that play, but that was pretty rough. A few other ones here too. These are pretty simple. But how about this? This is actually multiple choice. Multiple choice. But do you prefer tacos, soft tacos or hard tacos? Like if you go to Taco Bell or something like that?
Soft.
I used to be the crunchy guy, but now I think because soft is a safer bet. Because some of these crunchy tacos, you get them and they're already broken. It's like that's a mess. But soft tacos are usually pretty consistent. And plus, I'm a flour tortilla guy. I'm more preferred.
Me too. Yeah. No, I'm definitely a soft taco guy, especially if if I was doing Taco Bell or something, for sure. If I'm at a Mexican restaurant type deal, I'll mix in the hard tacos every now and then.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not going to turn down hard tacos, but if I got my choice and my druthers,
Off the way to go.
yeah, I'm going to do that. And also here too, before we get to the chat and shows, entertainment wise, what is the greatest Disney animated movie of all time? And this can include Pixar. I'll throw Pixar into there as well because it's animated and it's Disney technically. But because I can tell you mine, I'll go ahead and give mine. Mine's The Lion King, just because it's legendary and iconic, and the voices were great. Because I mean, you had James Earl Jones and Jeremy Irons. I mean, that alone was awesome. But I mean, The Lion King definitely is like my number one. I think Aladdin is criminally underrated.
Aladdin low-key is one of my favorites of all time. Loved me some Aladdin. So you're not hip to the Frozen and the new age?
I mean, it's fine, but no, it's okay. They don't make them like they used to, man. Like those movies, the Renaissance era of Disney, man, like the 90s. What was it? That Little Mermaid and Aladdin and Lion King and I mean, just those three alone are legendary. So
those are great. Yeah. But I didn't really have a problem with any of them. It's hard for me to pick a favorite because I love that stuff. In fact, I can't wait to start running them back when we have the kiddo. But even like Beauty and the Beast, man, like, all those I really, really enjoyed. It's impossible to pick a good Lion King's that's really, really hard to beat though.
Because it was the story, and as a kid, it just means something. Because you're like, I remember crying. I was 5 or 6. My mom and my dad took me to see it in theaters, and I cried so hard when Mufasa died. Because it's like, as a kid, you're like, what if that's my dad? Like, that's the thing. It's like kids movies used to be like, it'd make you cry as a kid. Now everyone's like so scared to make kids scared. It's like, dude, there were some movies I watched. I don't know if you ever watched American Tail. If you remember that, holy crap, that was some real stuff. But it was a kid's movie, and you watched it, and it's like kids want to be scared a little bit so they can learn more in life.
You know what was what low key is really high up there for me? It might actually be my favorite is the Jungle Book.
Man,
here's the Jungle Book, man.
I do too. I'm being honest. I think that might be the Disney movie I have gone the longest without seeing. I couldn't. Really? I know a little bit about it. I know the story, but I just don't know much else.
Yeah, we said it like the same time there, Chris. I like that. That's the Jungle Book was a lot of fun.
Yeah. A lot of it too is about the music, the songs and the soundtrack. Yeah. I mean, even I saw somebody with Mulan and let's get down to business. Like just the good songs that came from it. It was great. But yeah.
And in honor of Andrew, he just went and watched the new Lilo and Stitch or whatever. Like the OG Lilo and Stitch was it's a great one, man. Not gonna lie, it was really solid.
Yeah, there's always those songs like Emperor's New Groove. I thought that
Emperor's New Groove was good. Yeah,
really good. There's some good ones, man. Disney Plus. That's the one redeeming quality of having Disney Plus app, man. Is you can go back and see those classics. Some of the great ones that have been coming from it. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get to some of your chats before we close up here. Shout out to Chris. Actually, he became a new YouTube member, an insider of Arkansas.
There we go, man.
Appreciate it, Chris. We'll probably do. Because this week's been pretty busy, but we'll look to probably maybe next week before fall camp starts up, do another members only live stream, get into it, and we'll give you some details on that, do some more giveaways and whatnot. So, but we appreciate all the memberships here with Inside Arkansas. Let's see. Hog fan Trey says, I'm so ready for Pot of That Nature to come back. I'm so ready. Well, it's just to be honest, it's not going to be called that anymore. Going through a little bit of a rebrand. Because, we think we looked at it as, okay, hey, listen, Pot at the Palace, Arkansas, Razorback basketball. It's always going to be Basketball Palace of Mid-America. That's not changing. Same thing with Bombastic. It's going to be Bomb. That's not changing. But to have it be after something that Sam Pittman said, but does not say anymore.
He hasn't said it in like 3 years, and it's our fault.
Yep, our fault. Like as soon as we did it, the next press conference he had, he almost said, he's like, I'm trying not to say that anymore. And I remember saying, like, man, we weren't trying to make fun of you. We just thought it was cool. So it's not relevant anymore. It's not relevant anymore. So we're going to go through a little bit of rebranding, and it's not going to be, I'm just gonna be honest. It's not gonna be anything as crazy creative, anything. It might just be the Inside Arkansas Football Podcast. It could be like that. We'll be like the Washington football team, just be.
They don't even know what the football stadium is going to be named. So
it's true.
It's
true. Yeah. When is that going to happen? Because they got to get those letters off the stadium pretty quickly,
One would think.
Yeah. See, maybe Donald W. Reynolds gets some free pub for a while until they get it figured out.
Yeah, seriously.
Let's see. Finch says, I'm going with Inside Arkansas as my heavy hitter. Thank you for literally supplying us with all day content. If we choose to partake, hardworking guys, and we speak the truth and still stay off the Kool-Aid. Well, thanks, Finch.
Thank you. No, we do appreciate that. I got to tell you, Finch, it's been interesting for me having met you now in person. The way who you are, like your appearance and everything, it's just not what I would expect based on how you are in this chat. Not a troll. Troll's not the word for it. You're not a troll, but just like a wise guy kind of. And then I see you and he's like, oh wow, this is a really upstanding, guy, family man looking kind of guy. And you're all those things, but then you get in here and you're riffing, you're giving us some trouble and everything like that. And I'm like, man, seeing him, I didn't think he'd be that guy, but he is. So you learn something new every day. It's always fun for me to meet the man behind the mask sometimes. It's like, oh wow, really? That's who this is. Okay.
Yeah. No, same here. And brought me think of something. Just last week or 2 weeks ago, before I left for media days, I was at Walmart over here at the neighborhood market, and somebody came up to me and was like, hey, I'm in the chat and this is who I was. I'm not going to out them, but they were a woman, and I was not thinking that person in chat. It was a woman, because it's one of those. Yeah, it was. I'll give the first name. It goes by Alex. And I was always just assumed that's me, but that it was a guy, and I was like, oh, all right.
Good to know.
And she was also almost like, yeah, do you know? I was like, no, I do. It's just female listenership isn't one of our strongest suits, and so you just sometimes can go through it. But she's really nice, though, really, really nice and enjoyable. So, yeah, those are one of the mistakes you don't really always want to make. Shout out to Matty Eyes. Appreciate the super chat. He says, Woo Pig, love the content. Thank you. Thank you, Matty. Awesome. Appreciate it. Also, Lane wanted to say, hey, Curtis, Betty is gone. Time to celebrate.
Lane, you know how I feel about this. Lane is the one that set me over the edge at the start of the members only stream about the Cardinals. But yeah, they finally trimmed some of this unnecessary fat, man, in the rotation. It's unbelievable how they just kept throwing this dude out there. I mean, it's batting practice, John. They had to skip his first start after the All-Star break because he was the guy that pitched all the home run derby people. It was unbelievable. The dude is just a walking home run, man. And it's like people are so pissed about the Cardinals and everything. And this is supposed to be kind of a reset year or whatever. And they've kind of been outperforming that, but they're right around 500 or something, but they concede. They basically forfeit 2 out of every 5 starts between Miles Michaelis and Eric Fetty. And they finally cut one of them. So kudos to them for doing that. Let a young guy pitch and get his brains beat in. At least he'll learn something from it. This dude's washed, man. Get him out of here.
Well, I saw your tweet yesterday, your retweet, and I sent it to my buddy Devin because he's a Cardinal fan too, and he laughed the ni hao, where's he going to be playing next? With Shaq. Really great.
Tigers.
Yeah, that was great. So, but yeah, I feel like I don't know many Cardinal fans other than like you and Devin, but with both of you guys were in unison of how awesome that was for him to be gone. I think kind of summed it up right there. Mm-hmm. Also, Alex said, so proud of you using a Houston Nut clip. Talking about the intro. Yeah. Well, I, as much as I'm not a fan of Houston Nut, I'll say you can't run away from some of his iconic lines, even though he had some that were really dumb, but there were some that were really good. Like that speech he had in his first game as a Razorback when he's talking about there's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there's only one Razorback. It's a great quote. But people forget to just a little bit after that. He's like, I want everybody helping out your defense. And if you get knocked down, you look at that player in the eye and say, I'll see you in 25 seconds. I'll see you in 25 seconds. Because saying that you get knocked down, you're going to meet him again. I'm like, all right, that's kind of lame. But still. He's a football player, Lou Holtz, Mark May, which kids these days won't even know the reference of a Lou Holtz, Mark May. They won't know why you mentioned them.
Yeah,
folks,
like what?
They were the college football final on ESPN guys. It was Reese Davis, Mark May, and Lou Holtz. And, Lou Holtz was spitting everywhere when he's trying to talk. And it was a wild time. So, and Nathan just wants to know, he's like, who would win in a fight, Curtis or John? I don't know why you'd want to know that, but
not really a fighter, man.
Yeah. As I said, I've never been in a fight in my life. So probably Curtis. I think he's got the reach, plus I wouldn't want my face to get hit. Cause again, moneymaker right here. So,
I would never want to fight you, John. I don't want to do that, man. Oh.
And if you do, just please, not the face. Kick me in the shins or something.
Gentle giant, come on.
Yeah. It's now there'll be stuff that'll trigger us all to start fighting. Plus, also Curtis gets canned goods and fights with those, as we know in his story.
Oh yeah. Well, now listen, if I ever do get into a scrap, it's dirty. Bets are off, man. Whatever's within my reach, I will utilize it.
Yep. No matter if it's Bush's baked beans or
right. Yeah, can of chili, whatever.
Bottle of ketchup or mustard will stab you in the eye with the pointy end. I mean, it'd just be bad news no matter what. So, all right. Well, Curtis, any final thoughts before we roll out of here for the day?
Oh man, continue to tune into the Pod at the Palace. Got a fun episode lined up for tomorrow. In fact, I had already prepped the entire episode for tomorrow until I realized something that happened that I really want to talk about and dive into. So I actually have 2 episodes ready. The next couple of days are going to be a lot of fun, interesting stuff that I think will create a lot of debate. So stay tapped in with that. Appreciate everybody as always for hanging out with us. It's about to get really busy around here with football getting rolling. And I really just appreciate the chat today, man. I thought it was good stuff, some heavy topic stuff. And I think most people, and I appreciate you for like understanding where we're at with all this, because sometimes it's difficult when you're talking about things that could be controversial or, viewed as negative or whatever, for people to be like, oh, they're haters or whatever. No, we're being real about the situations and where we see them. We're all on the same page here. We just want the Arkansas Razorbacks to be great at everything. Mm-hmm. And when they're not, or there's a roadblock there, buddy, we're going to talk about it. We're going to be honest with you guys.
Yep. And that's what we're always going to pride ourselves in. We don't want to be always because there's a balance of it. And I think people who know us and listen to us, they understand it's not the things just like, oh, we'll say some crazy stuff. We're like, oh, we're just keeping it real. Like, no, we're not doing that. But we're also not just going to toe a company line and be like, no, everything's great and sunshine and rainbows when the world's colliding. Like, I think hopefully all of you appreciate the fact that we approach it in a way of what we know. Here's what's going on and let's talk about it. So good or bad, but yeah, we do appreciate it though, and appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll have a lot more to get into tomorrow as well. So be sure to subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas on our YouTube page. You can also check out our audio podcast wherever podcasts are found, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, or the Bombastic Podcast. You can also follow us on social media at Inside Arkansas for all of that as well. So that'll do it for us. For Curtis Wilkerson, I am John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you then.